And welcome to a one-hour special of TMJ4 News at 6 as we remember a Milwaukee Brewers legend, Bob Uecker, known as Mr. Baseball. Good evening, I'm Charles Benson.
And I'm Susan Kim. We learned of his passing at around 9:45 this morning. Bob Uecker was 90 years old. A statement from the team calls Ueck the light of the Brewers and the soundtrack of our summers. According to his family, Uecker was battling small cell lung cancer since early 2023. He was born and raised in Milwaukee and played in the major leagues for 5 years before retiring and coming back home to be the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers.
And so for the next hour, we're going to hear from people who knew him and his kind personality. First, we want to go to TMJ4 sports reporter Ashley Washburn for a look at his career.
We just hopped off a call with Brewers owner Mark Atanasio not too long ago, and he brought up the Johnny Cash song, I've Been Everywhere, to describe Bob Uecker and all that he accomplished in his 90 years of life, and I don't think there's a more fitting song. Born and raised right here in Milwaukee, Uecker got his first break in baseball with the hometown Braves in 1962, spent 5 years in the major leagues, winning a World Series with St. Louis in '64, before returning home in '71 to become the voice of the Brewers. But what made Mr. Baseball so special just wasn't his love for the game, but it was the impact he had on others. His wittiness and larger-than-life personality had a way of making people smile, which is why he became not only a radio favorite, but a TV favorite, appearing on talk shows, starring in sitcoms, commercials, movies, the list goes on. But home was always in the booth, being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2003. He touched every person he crossed paths with, including Christian Yelich.
The first time I met Bob was like a couple days after I got traded, actually. It was with Ryan, Mark, Mike, and I think Robin Yount on Mark's plane going to Fan Fest, like the winter warm-up, the end of January. And that was the first time I spent any time with Bob, had ever met him, anything. And you could tell right away, he was a special person and just like, the joy that he brought to every conversation and just how funny he was what kind of stuck out to me at first. And
a very special relationship between the two of them. Uecker spent 54 seasons in the booth for the Milwaukee Brewers, which is the fourth longest tenure with one team in Major League history. Susan?
Yeah, he was loved by all generations, Ashley. Thank you. Bob Uecker's legacy stretched beyond baseball. Our Mike Biermeister is talking with more fans. He's at Drink Wisconsinably Pub in Deer District. And Mike, how are they honoring Mr. Baseball tonight?
Well, Susan, I want you to take a look at this. They've saved the best seat in the house for Bob Uecker, the legend. They've got the brat ready to go for him, as well as a bobblehead from his role in Major League, as well as a Miller Lite, all to honor this larger-than-life legend. Now, I've been traveling all across the city talking with fans about the impact that Uecker made on so many. Just a little bit far south here at Walker's Point at Heavy Hitters Athletic Facility, owner Marcos Ramos Garcia tells me they eat, sleep, and breathe baseball, just like Bob did. Something Ramos Garcia can really appreciate, that dedication to the game. He grew up in Milwaukee and remembers listening to Uecker on the radio. Ramos Garcia tells me Uecker was able to connect with people from all walks of life, especially the city's Latino population.
He was definitely one of those individuals that you could tell was welcoming of all people from all walks of life in this melting pot here of Milwaukee.
Yeah, the folks at Heavy Hitters expressed their condolences to the family, along with the people here at Drink Wisconsinably, as you can see up there. We'll continue to share more reaction from fans a little later on. Charles Benson, we'll toss it over to you.
All right, Mike, thanks. A huge part of Bob Uecker's legacy was his work off the field. Our Jenna Ray is here with me to talk about this. And Jenna, you spent the day talking with those who were impacted by Bob's philanthropic work.
And as you said, it stretches much further than just here at American Family Field. It goes beyond that. I spent the afternoon at Make-A-Wish, Wisconsin, where you can really feel Bob's impact actually in that building. The president, Patty Gorski, sat down and talked with me about the hundreds of kids Bob made feel special and made their wish come true.
And look who's front and center through the fishing tournament that he did for us, and Bob personally.
For Bob Uecker, it was a personal mission to give back both on and off the field.
I met Bob right when I started because Bob hosted the Bob Uecker Great Lakes Fishing Invitational, and it was a fundraiser, a big fishing tournament.
Patty Gorski's the president and CEO of Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. Over the last 25 years, she's seen firsthand Bob's impact on kids.
Whether it was in the broadcast booth or he'd meet him down in the dugout or whatever it was, he'd always be dragging, baseball players and coaches to come meet this kid, meet this Wish kid, and it was always like a three-ring circus party going on.
And it wasn't just local kids.
Oh, Bob transcended everything to the American dream of Americana of baseball. I mean, he was Mr. Baseball. So it wasn't just for Milwaukee and Wisconsin, it was nationally as well. And kids from all over the country came in and they'd say, what do you want to wish for? I'd want to wish for meeting Bob Uecker and the Milwaukee Brewers. And they made it happen. Bob made it happen.
The country now mourning the loss of a legend who over the course of 2 decades donated and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for Make-A-Wish.
You feel like crying just because, he's 90 years old. He lived a good life. But when you think of that chapter closing, it's sad because the legacy was rich, deep, and powerful. And it was personal for him. This wasn't just, write a check and send it out. This was, I'll pour myself into it and I'll make kids laugh and smile and have magic and memories. It doesn't get more powerful than that.
It really is powerful. And Charles, I spent a lot of the afternoon looking at all of those pictures that we just showed on air of Bob Uecker with these kids inside American Family Field, in the dugout, on the field, and just the smile on their faces and his, it truly brought him so much joy.
Yeah, Patty, also a good friend of the community. But what you said there, he just said, it wasn't like, I'll write a check.
Right.
He spent time with these kids. Yeah. Special moments. Thank you. All right, Bob Uecker is being remembered by so many others. Susan?
All right, thank you both. And Bob Uecker is being remembered by many in the Milwaukee area, including in Menomonee Falls, where he owned a home near North Hills Country Club. Our Waukesha County reporter Rebecca Clough spoke to Eddie and Joe at North Hills, where he was also a member.
North Hills Country Club here in Menomonee Falls is literally Bob Uecker's backyard. The longtime golf pro here says when the leaves were off the trees, they would wave to Bob as he mowed his grass.
That's Mr. Uecker's locker.
Bob Uecker was a longtime member of the North Hills Country Club. Both the general manager and longtime golf pro have known him for nearly 3 decades. The Uecker family even threw Bob a surprise 90th birthday at the club last year, despite it being closed for the season.
So we kind of scrambled and reorganized. Robin Yount was here. One of the past owners, the current owner, was here. A lot of personal friends, people from the East and West Coast came, and really all his family.
Retired golf pro Eddie Teresa says when Bob was regularly golfing, which was about 10 years ago or so, they could almost set their watch to when he would show up.
It seemed like instantaneous. The game was over and he was in our parking lot. It's like, Mr. Uecker, how'd you get here so quick? He says, I know the shortcuts. So those are some of the memories.
Eddie says when his daughter was getting married, Bob made sure to announce it on the broadcast. He says he was just a regular, down-to-earth kind of guy.
Oh, by the way, it's Bob Uecker. Hi, Bart.
When I was out practicing I would see him in his backyard mowing his lawn.
People knew Bob Uecker and loved him. It would be hard to take his locker away. I think, sometimes if a member dies and have been a long part of the club, especially someone like Bob Uecker, we may never take that plaque down, which I think the members will appreciate.
The club was hoping Bob would have been able to celebrate his 91st birthday here, which would have been next Sunday. In Menomonee Falls, Rebecca Clough, TMJ4 News.
All right, Rebecca, thanks. So many memories, Susan, of Bob. You remember he used to throw batting practice here at the stadium? He was involved in so many things, not just being the voice of baseball, but more than that, for more than a decade, he played the TV dad on Mr. Belvedere.
And I got to talk with his TV daughter about what it was like working with him on set and what she remembers most about their experience.
When there's a great story to be told in your neighborhood, connect with TMJ4 News. Message us on our Facebook page and TMJ4.com or call our tip line at 414-963-4444.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds.
The all-new Santa Fe is a giant leap forward. It's incredibly tough. Unbelievably big. And amazingly smart. The all-new, epically capable Hyundai Santa Fe. There's joy in every journey. Lease the Santa Fe for $299 a month or get up to $3,000 bonus cash. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
To everyone who's hungry for something special,
Culver's is the place for us.
Hi, what can I make fresh for you today?
It's nice being greeted by people who are glad to see you. And I appreciate that they use real ingredients, like fresh beef and Wisconsin cheese. The frozen custard is so fresh and creamy, it tastes like it was made just for us.
It's our pleasure.
Just spending time with family, that's what mealtime at Culver's is all about.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious!
Curing lung disease starts with a single step. Hi, I'm Brian Niznansky. Join TMJ4 and the American Lung Association for the Fight for Air climb on Saturday, March 1st. We'll be climbing the stairs inside at 411 East Wisconsin Center. Think you can't conquer 30 floors? Think again.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Even I can do it.
Team up with TMJ4 and the American Lung Association for the Fight for Air climb.
Locally presented by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Register at climbmilwaukee.org.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds.
And welcome back to American Family Field, where fans continue to pay tribute to Bob Uecker outside this stadium where his statue stands. We all know that the Brewers legend was such a successful person in the broadcast booth, but he also had a successful career as an actor.
Yeah, you're certainly right about that, Charles. Uecker spent several years playing the part of George Owens on the show Mr. Belvedere. Now, this is Uecker with his TV daughter, played by Tracy Wells. Tracy has since married and is now Tracy Tofty. But what hasn't changed is her love and appreciation for her time with Bob Uecker.
Go ahead and yuck it up.
It was an 80s hit show that made viewers fall even more in love with Bob Uecker. What was it like to work with Bob as a child?
As a child, it was everything. It was absolutely amazing.
Tracy Tofty played Heather, Bob's TV daughter.
He was like a second dad to me. I lost my mom when I was 15 years old. I started the show when I was 12. Him and Judy, his wife Judy, really took me in, and they were like a parental figure for me for most of my life.
Even after the show signed off in 1990, Tracy remained close to the Uecker family.
Throughout the years, I would visit Bob, been on his boat. Whenever he came to LA, we always tried to see each other when he was announcing the games out here.
With his health failing, Tracy was lucky enough to see Bob just 3 weeks ago at his home in Menomonee Falls. That's where they took this picture.
When I first walked into their home and saw him, I just remember thinking, get a hold of your emotions, because the sight of him, I just wanted to burst out into tears. But once he started talking, it was just Bob talking to Tracy, and we just sat at the kitchen table for a few hours.
Tracy learned of Bob's passing from a text message early this morning. As she works through the shock and heartbreak of Mr. Baseball's passing, she is thankful for him and that one final visit.
I could hear his voice saying, "I love you, darling," and giving me a big hug. He would call me darling, Trace, and kitten. He had so much pride about baseball in Milwaukee. Just when you walk through his house, you could see how the memories and people were what mattered to him. And I'm just very honored and blessed to have known him. And I feel like, you know, everybody should try to be like Bob. Make everybody feel special.
Yeah, that was a gift that Bob Uecker had. You know, Tracy's relationship with Bob and Judy was so special that she happened to ask Judy if something was going on because she felt something was off. And that's when Bob called her to share his cancer diagnosis.
What a special friendship and what a special time they had together. We certainly appreciate you bringing us that personal perspective and hearing her talk about a person she loved and we all love.
Yeah, thanks for that, Susan. All right, outside again this evening, we have a January thaw, but some cold air on the way. When we're going to see our coldest or feel our coldest temperatures of the season coming up.
Reimagine exceptional with the 2024 Buick Envision. With advanced technology and breathtaking clarity, and quiet serenity within. Experience confident driving, an all-wheel drive that takes you wherever you need to go. Make every day an occasion. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR, plus no monthly payments for 90 days on this 2024 Buick Envision.
The Panera You Pick 2 you've always loved now has a price you'll love even more. Starting at $8.98, mix 2 Panera faves to craft the perfect meal just for you. Whether it's a soup and salad or sandwich and mac, the choice is all yours. Panera's You Pick 2, endless combinations, now starting at $8.98.
Transform the look of your home and save big money at Menards. Countertops are the center of the home, and Menards carries a great selection, from elegant to everyday options. Plus, easy installation that you can do yourself, and durability that can take you from crayons to calculus. Transform everyday spaces into gathering places with countertops from Menards. Take home pre-cut stock laminate countertop today and save big with $1 a foot rebate. The longer the countertop, the bigger the rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
We all know what it's like to have a close call on the road with a semi-truck. It's terrifying. If you've been in a car accident with a semi-truck, give us a call today. Call 333-3333 for the PKSD guarantee.
And welcome back to this special edition of TMJ4 News at 6 as we take this live look now outside American Family Field. You can see this. This is a growing memorial for Mr. Baseball. Near his statue there, and people have brought flowers and candles and cans of Miller Lite.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so fitting. And a jersey now has joined the other items there that people are leaving. And, you know, you can see people, they want to say thank you.
Yeah.
They want to talk about the memories that they have of listening to Bob Uecker on the radio for 50 plus
and usually it's simple memories. Like for me, I'll say it. I mean, some of my best times with Uecker were weekend nights where there's nothing going on, but I have the radio on, let's fire up the grill, let's have a Miller Lite, and listen to his stories.
Yeah, and having met him, I mean, he's so funny and really kind to everybody. Yeah. But it's the first time I would hear him on the radio in the spring, deep sigh and think, all right, it's baseball season.
The grass soon will be green.
Yep. Until you heard his voice, it didn't feel like spring was coming.
We could use a little Uecker right now to warm things up. Well, actually today, not too bad. Normal high temperature for today, maybe that was the Uecker effect. 37 our high temperature today, so 6 degrees above the freezing mark. But don't get too comfy. We have one more warm day tomorrow, in fact, some 40s, and then here comes a plunge of Arctic air, and you see how this is all kind of rotating. Yes, that is officially the polar vortex. I don't like to overuse that term, but yes, by the weekend and by especially early next week, we're going to feel the effects of this really strong polar air mass. Now, David here reaching out on social media. I shudder to think what we'd be talking about for temperatures if we had 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground. And he brings up a really, really good point. If we had a snowpack on the ground, we would be talking about even colder temperatures. All right, currently in Milwaukee, we have 35 degrees, not bad at all. Northwest wind at 5 miles per hour. You have 32 in Watertown, 37 in Kenosha, 35 in Racine. Let's go through your weather headlines. January thaw these next couple of days. Cold air rushes in this weekend. If you put away like your snow pants and your heaviest coats, get ready to bring them back. True Arctic blast on the way. Storm 4 Max radar and satellite. Some breaks in the clouds for now. Clouds will fill in again. There is an area of low pressure to the northwest of us. Now trailing behind it, the first of a series of cold fronts that will be sweeping through. This could bring us a few flurries or sprinkles tomorrow night. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Some clouds in the morning on Friday, and then sunshine midday and in the afternoon. Here comes that first cold front. Could bring a few sprinkles or flurries to the area tomorrow night, maybe between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Saturday, starting off with some clouds, but eventually getting really cold by Saturday afternoon. Your forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, a low 25. For tomorrow, high temperature 43. Windy, mild. Get any outdoor activities you want to get done tomorrow. Here's your 7-day forecast, and you're going to see why. 18 on Saturday, windy, getting colder. That 18 will be in the morning. A low Saturday night, actual temperature of 0. Then a high on Sunday of 4. Wind chills will be minus 25 to minus 15 on Sunday. On Monday, a high of 0. Low temperatures below 0. Wind chills maybe as cold as 30 below 0 Monday morning, 20 below 0 Tuesday, and then we start warming up. A lot of people already asking me, Susan, will it be cold enough to cancel school? Still a little too far out to be saying that, but we are starting to get to that threshold that you will want to stay up with the forecast.
All right, we'll check back, Brian. Thank you. Still to come this evening, we go to a drinking hole on the south side, popular with Brewers fans, to see how Bob Uecker is being remembered there.
Touches of black. They stand for elegance, refinement. They make you see everything in a new light.
Lease a new 2025 Sportage LX for $249 a month.
Schimmel, prosecutor, attorney general, rule of law judge. Schimmel put pedophiles behind bars, took on criminal illegals and cartels, protected kids and seniors from abuse.
Law school taught me the rights of the accused, but justice for the abused is denied all too often. I'm Brad Schimmel. On the state Supreme Court, I'll apply the law equally because everyone has the right to feel safe.
Schimmel, for justice.
Get ready for the big game with Spectrum. Welcome more excitement into your home as you enjoy the best TV streaming experience. Spectrum brings your entire family together with the fastest, most reliable internet so everyone can enjoy all the sports and entertainment they love. Cheer on all your favorite players on football's biggest night. With the touch of a button, Spectrum puts you at the center of it all so you never miss a play. Get in the game and save with Spectrum Internet Premier for only $30 per month when bundled plus a 3-year price guarantee. Call 1-877-959-1722.
The new 2025 K4 LXS for $209 a month.
Welcome back as we continue to mourn Mr. Baseball himself. If there's one thing we've learned by covering his death is that Bob's legacy will live on in every corner of our city.
And that's especially true at Steny Sports Bar on the near south side. The bar is a popular spot to catch a shuttle to a Brewers game or watch a game on television with friends. Bartenders and customers alike tell us Bob's voice and his humor will be dearly missed.
It hit me hard, you know, and I've been through a lot of these things in my life and knowing his age and that, but it's just, this one hurt.
He was such an influence on why people actually started listening and watching baseball too.
And one thing people at Senni's tell us is that they are looking forward to seeing how the Brewers will memorialize Euchre in the upcoming season.
As we head to break, we want to share a call from the late Bob Euchre for the first home run from the Brewers' newest young superstar, Jackson Chourio.
Ready to work. Here it is. Line to right center. Get up! Get out of here! Gone! Jackson Chourio just took one out of here. First in the big leagues. Welcome.
Need inspiration? Shop Pick and Save. For thousands of appetizing ingredients and meals, savings like $600 in digital coupons and up to $2 off per gallon at the pump. So you get big flavors and big savings. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Molly leaving was one thing, but then I thought Mom's osteoporosis might keep us stuck on the couch. No way.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and are at high risk for fracture, you can do more than just slow bone loss. You can build new bone in 12 months with Evenity. Evenity is proven to significantly reduce spine fracture risk.
She said the Evenity she's taking builds new bone. Builds new bone!
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a heart problem. Tell your doctor if you have had a heart attack or stroke. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it, as serious events have occurred with Evenity. Signs include rash, hives, swelling of the face or throat, which may cause difficulty in swallowing or breathing, muscle spasms or cramps, numbness, or tingling. Tell your doctor about severe jawbone problems, as they have been reported with Evenity. Report hip, groin, or thigh pain. Unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred with Evenity.
Building bone? We dig it.
Want stronger bones? Ask your doctor about Evenity.
A performance that truly matters. This is what you've been waiting for. Shen Yun, coming to Miller High Life Theater, February 22nd and 23rd. Shenyun.com.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky, Storm Team 4.
Alrighty, heading out this evening, pretty comfortable for January. We'll have temperatures in the 30s, falling into the 20s by 3 a.m. 29, and by 7 a.m. tomorrow, 29 degrees. Enjoy tomorrow's 40 degrees because, again, the bottom drops out heading into the weekend. Susan, we lost a legend today, but thanks for sharing a lot of those stories.
Yeah, I love hearing from the fans, too. So many great stories of Bob Euchre. Our coverage of Bob Euchre's passing continues on in this special hour-long edition of TMJ4 News at 6. Stay with us for another half hour of remembering Mr. Baseball.
Big things are happening at TMJ4 News.
We're capturing local stories in a whole new way.
With more reporters who live where you live.
And more perspectives from people just like you.
Like me.
It's not always the loudest voices that should make the headlines.
Real news comes from real people.
And we deserve news that represents us.
I'm Ben from Racine.
The Tenutas from Kenosha.
Patty from Waukesha.
You deserve to be heard.
Watch TMJ4 News at 6.
I'd love to thank everyone at Gruber for taking time and being patient with me.
Thank you. I'm just really, really grateful. I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Gruber, thanks.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Thank you very much.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin night and day. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. But now I have Rinvoq. Rinvoq is a once daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some taking Rinvoq felt significant itch relief as early as 2 days, and some achieved dramatic skin clearance as early as 2 weeks. Many saw clear or almost clear skin.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant, or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your dermatologist about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Sun, 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 fun, fun, fun.
Here comes the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park, January 17th through 26th. Get that boat and get that deal.
Hi, Lester.
NBC's Lester Holt stopped by TMJ4
Thank you so much for joining us.
to chat with anchors Susan Kim and Steve Shamraz.
Local news is part of the community.
More perspectives from your town and your world every night.
Story is how people are living these things.
TMJ 4 to 7. 3 hours of evening news that represents you.
Hopefully I'm a part of the TMJ family.
Of course. Be part of the family. Watch TMJ4 News and NBC Nightly News. In the community, for the community. Storm Team 4.
Swinging a bouncer, slowly hit up along third. Sheets, bare hand pickup, throws, and got him. What a play by Ben.
Summers in Milwaukee will never sound the same. For more than a half century, Bob Uecker's voice was the soundtrack of the season for Brewers fans all over Wisconsin and beyond. Uecker died this morning at the age of 90, and fans are sharing their sorrow.
Listening to him on the radio every day was kind of my whole childhood. Listened to almost every game or watched every game with my dad growing up and my brother and all my friends. You know, it was a rough morning.
He's an icon for our city, and I remember as a child growing up, I would listen to him on the radio with my grandpa, so he's just part of, he's Mr. Baseball. Yeah.
Today, many of those fans have made their pilgrimage to Bob Uecker's statue outside American Family Field. And as you can see, a memorial has formed around the base of that statue as Wisconsin pays its respects to the man we all know and loved as Mr. Baseball. And the memorial here and at the statue continues to grow as fans leave flowers, cans of Miller Lite, some enjoying a beer with Bob here, and notes of how they are grieving with the loss of Bob Uecker.
Yeah, you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who embraced Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and baseball more than Bob Uecker, and they all embraced him back. Uecker's family shared through the Brewers that he had battled small cell lung cancer since early 2023. He had scaled back his broadcasting duties over the past couple of years. His last game was the Brewers' loss to the Mets in the National League wildcard game back on October 3rd. The Milwaukee Brewers announced his death this morning, saying he was the heart and soul of Wisconsin and a dear friend. Saying goodbye to Bob shakes us all. He was so much more than a Milwaukee Brewers icon. He was a national treasure. Brewers owner Mark Atanasio had this to say this afternoon.
If you heard his voice, in the stadium, we always to the end broadcast his, broadcast him. You would never know that it was anything. And I think, part of that is he just got energized being at the ballpark, being around the guys. Part of that was his dedication to his craft. He always told me if he couldn't do the job anymore, he was gonna step back. He wasn't going to embarrass anybody, starting with himself. And he did the job right to the end, which is extraordinary.
And Susan, I remember how excited Mark Atanasio was about buying the team, but I think he was more excited that he was going to be able to have Bob Uecker, be in the broadcast booth and develop this close friendship that they have been able to develop. Now, our team has been all over the city today talking to fans about their feelings and the loss of Bob Uecker.
And one of them is our Mike Biermeister. He is live at Drink Wisconsin with some of the reaction that he is getting from fans. Hi, Mike.
Hi, it's truly been a treat to listen to folks swap stories about Bob Uecker and really the presence that he had and the impact that he's made on so many. I want you to take a look at the memorial that they have set up here in honor of Uecker, in honor of Mr. Baseball. It's the best seat in the house. You can see the brat there. Of course, they have a bobblehead from his role in the Major League films, and you have to have a Miller Lite. Now, I've been making my way all over the city talking with folks, fans as well, fans like Terry Shelton over at Oscar's Pub and Grill. And he loved listening to Uecker. He would bring his radio to the game just to listen to Mr. Baseball, who made the game come alive for him.
He made the game exciting. It's really hard to really listen to it on the radio normally, but with him it wasn't. He made you feel like you were there, even though you weren't, okay? But you were there, you know. So that's what he means to me in baseball. He was everything.
And Terry tells me he never met Uke, but he did come close. He's certainly going to miss hearing Bob Uecker on the radio, but also as a person, as an ambassador for the city of Milwaukee, as well as the state of Wisconsin, as are the folks here at Drink Wisconsinably. Live in Milwaukee, Mike Biermeister, TMJ4 News.
Yeah, he was a master of weaving stories in between pitches. It was wonderful to listen to. Mike, thank you. Within the past hour, several Brewers players, past and present, shared their thoughts on Bob Uecker and his passing. And Ashley Washburn joins me live now. You were on that Zoom call, and you got to hear some good stories, I bet.
Good stories, and it was really hard to listen to them and not kind of get some tears into your eyes. It was Christian Yelich, Brendan Woodruff, and Ryan Bond. We spent about 45 minutes on that Zoom talking about the life of Bob Uecker and sharing memories, like I said, that couldn't help but bring tears to your eyes. Christian Yelich, of course, grew really close to Uecker over the years and added more perspective on why he was so emotional after this year's wild card loss.
I knew Bob was going through that battle for quite some time, honestly. I don't remember exactly when I found out, but definitely pre-spring training of last year. And, you know, I think that's kind of why the last game was as emotional as it was, because I think, you know, privately, a few of us kind of knew that was likely the last one that would have Bob a part of it. And he's been such a big part of the Brewers and all of our lives that it was kind of hard to process at that time that, you know, after all this is kind of how the last one was going to be. So yeah, obviously that was an emotional time.
We had clinched there on a wild game, and he comes in, and, you know, this is my second year up, and I remember him coming in. I'm like, oh man, Bob Uecker's in here in the clubhouse with us after the game, and everybody's just pouring champagne and beer on him. He's dancing, he's doing all this crazy stuff, and we're like, I'm just thinking like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I remember getting to take a selfie with him. And I still hold that picture, you know, dear. Like it's in one of my favorites in my albums in my phone. And I didn't know at the time, but fortunately have been able to go to the playoffs there for a string of years. And every year I would make sure to get a picture with him.
And at the end of this last one that they just clinched at, they'd waited to start that party with that champagne shower because they wanted to make sure that Bob Uecker was there. It was a really special moment with him, and it's one of those things that'll always stick with me, being able to witness that.
And it just says so much about Uecker, the fact that all these generations and these professional young players, it was the biggest thing to see Bob Uecker there, you know, and they're professional baseball players, you know.
I think it's one of those larger-than-life personalities that a lot of those guys learned a lot from him, and things that they'll carry on with the rest of their careers.
Of course. All right, Ashley, thanks. Let's go back out to Charles.
Well, we all know Bob Uecker, the broadcaster, but Uecker did play in the major leagues for several years. He was a catcher. The Milwaukee native made his major league debut for the hometown Braves in 1962. He won a world championship with the Cardinals in 1964. He retired after the 1967 season. Having been born and raised here, there are many, many people whose lives Bob Uecker has touched. James Groh has been talking with folks, and it's got to be some amazing stories.
Absolutely amazing stories. I got a unique perspective on him. I actually talked to one of his childhood friends, and he told me what it was like growing up with Mr. Baseball before Bob Uecker became a household name.
We know Bob Uecker since I was 14 years old.
George Mustas has known Bob Uecker since the 1940s, when Mr. Baseball was just a kid from the neighborhood.
We were playing ball, and he came and asked, "You guys need a ball player?" And my brother said, "You any good?" He said, "You'll see."
And that's how George and Bob's friendship began. They would play baseball at the park that was near 14th and Cherry Streets, which is the King Park neighborhood in Milwaukee. Back in 1994, the Milwaukee Journal wrote an article about their friendship.
Yeah, we're hanging out at night and all that in the old neighborhood.
George, now 92, remembers the teenage hijinks the two used to get into.
Yeah, we go riding around in the countryside, and he'd see a cornfield. He'd say, "Hey, stop the car." He'd run out and grab a couple of ears of corn and chum, chum, chum.
The two stayed friends throughout his career. George would watch him play when Euchre was on the Cardinals.
Whenever he come to town, he leave tickets for us and stuff like that.
And that continued as he became the voice of the Brewers.
I saw him last year and the year before.
George talked to us because he wanted people to know what Euchre was like as a teenager.
He's a funny guy, just like you. He's like that as a kid, all the way growing up.
But beyond the jokes in baseball, George will always remember him for being a great friend.
Hey, the guy was a great guy.
So I didn't know Bob Euchre personally, unlike George, but I actually studied him.
Oh.
So in college, I was studying journalism. I wanted to be a play-by-play announcer. So I covered soccer, volleyball, and tons of baseball games.
Yep.
I would study his tapes
Why
to
not?
learn how he did it, to understand how he did what he did. So that's how I'll always remember him, you know?
So can you do the iconic call?
Iconic call, just a bit outside.
There you go. All right, thanks, James. Susan?
All right, well, on that note, thank you both. It's a movie that endures more than 3 decades later. Up next, just a bit outside, we'll talk with Bob Euchre's radio sidekick in Major League, Skip Griparis.
He's like family. You hear him so often in the summer at home, in the stadium when you're walking around. So it's going to be a tough one this year.
Illuminate your home and save big money on lighting at Menards. Find your style with over 75 in-stock Patriot lighting pendants on sale. Accent any space, adding beauty and elegance to your home. Get this Denzel pendant for $24.99. Sylvania True-Wave LED bulbs mimic natural sunlight, helping you see and feel better. Receive a $10 rebate with a purchase of $40 or more on True-Wave LED bulbs. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. With the pulling power to prove it. Tow hitches of the world, prepare for glory. Get 5.9% APR for 84 months on Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. That's over $5,300 in average finance savings.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a major league sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Brad Schimmel, prosecutor, attorney general, rule of law judge. Schimmel put pedophiles behind bars, took on criminal illegals and cartels, protected kids and seniors from abuse.
Law school taught me the rights of the accused, but justice for the abused is denied all too often. I'm Brad Schimmel. On the state Supreme Court, I'll apply the law equally because everyone has the right to feel safe.
Schimmel, for justice.
Get ready for the big game with Spectrum. Welcome more excitement into your home as you enjoy the best TV streaming experience. Spectrum brings your entire family together with the fastest, most reliable internet so everyone can enjoy all the sports and entertainment they love. Cheer on all your favorite players on football's biggest night. With the touch of a button, Spectrum puts you at the center of it all so you never miss a play. Get in the game and save with Spectrum Internet Premier for only $30 per month when bundled plus a 3-year price guarantee. Call 1-877-959-1722.
In the heart of Milwaukee, where tradition meets innovation, a force is at work, safeguarding natural resources for the community. Through cutting-edge technologies and sustainable practices, Veolia's commitment to Milwaukee is ensuring a better quality of life for generations to come. Veolia is proud to serve the Milwaukee community, protecting public health and Lake Michigan. At Veolia, we're about more than water. We're resourcing the world, one community at a time.
That's all. We got one hit.
You can't say on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
One of many memorable Bob Uecker moments from the hit movie Major League. And hard to believe, but that film came out 36 years ago. Now, Uecker has had many partners in the radio booth over the years, but his partner in Major League, Monty, was Skip Griparis. And Skip has been kind enough to join us via Zoom tonight, live. Skip, thanks so much for your time today.
Hi, Susan. Glad to be with you on this sad day, but you're rejoicing his life. There's plenty to love there.
Yeah, so many wonderful stories that we are hearing from fans today. Skip, you had this special opportunity and relationship with Bob Uecker. What do you remember most about your time together in this movie that people still talk about today?
How professional he was, how funny he was, how creative, how kind to me. He was just great. It was an honor. It was exciting to be working with him.
You shared some emotional thoughts on social media today about the passing of Bob Uecker. Can you share with us how you're feeling and how you felt when you learned that an icon, a legend, had passed?
Well, obviously very sad. I was in shock. I knew he was getting up there. I had hoped to see him one more time, and we just didn't get around to it. And then, why did I wait so long? And he was obviously an icon, and I was just lucky to be a part of a couple really great movies. And I just played the absolute opposite of what Bob's character was, Harry Doyle. So that seemed to work.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying these clips of the film that we're sharing right now. What do you think it was about your relationship with Bob in that film that just impacted people and makes people feel happy every time they watch them?
Well, it was those characters were based on real life broadcast team somewhere in the Midwest, where you have a blustery play-by-play guy and then a color man who really has very little to say. And the director and writer, David S. Ward, realized there was some comedy to be mined there. And Bob did his job, and I played the foil. I played the straight man, somebody for him to bounce off of. I've got an acting degree. I knew what to do to make us all look good is don't compete with him. Just be the opposite. And I think the chemistry people can really related to. And I can't tell you what everybody liked it so much. I know I liked it, but and it's very funny, just hilarious.
It is very funny and memorable. Monty, Skip Griparis, thanks so much for your time today.
My pleasure, Susan. Have a great evening.
All right, you too. And don't let Bob Uecker's self-deprecating humor fool you. He was most definitely great. So great that he is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Up next, we're going to relive the day that Uecker took his place among the game's immortals.
Listening to him on the radio every day was kind of my whole childhood. Listened to almost every game or watched every game with my dad growing up and my brother and all my friends. It was a rough morning. Took an early lunch, had to come down here and pay my respects to, obviously, he's a legend in the city.
Need cash today? Speedy Cash has you covered with solutions that provide cash on the spot.
Speedy Cash got me the cash I needed, how I needed it.
So why wait? Call now and you could have cash today with Speedy Cash.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Touches of black. They say a lot without having to say much. They stand for elegance, refinement, and prestige. Even a little can go a long way. And though they're darker than the darkest night, they make you see everything in a new light.
Lease a new 2025 Sportage LX for $249 a month.
Sun, 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 fun, fun, fun. Sun, sun, sun.
Boaters
boaters, this is your show, the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. Over 300 boats, family runabouts, ski and surf boats, luxury pontoons, more Lake Michigan boats than ever. Tierra, Beneteau, Pursuit, Cruisers, Sea Ray, Boston Whaler, and more. Get that boat and get that deal. See Twiggy the water skiing squirrel the second weekend. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com, January 17th through 26th, closed Monday and Tuesday.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of a repair. For quality service and repairs, call A1 Garage Door Service today.
A1Garage.com.
You've been in a serious accident with a truck. No one can prepare you for this life-changing event. We're here for you and your family. Call 333-3333 for the PKSD guarantee.
To everyone who's hungry for something special,
Culver's is the place for us.
Hi, what can I make fresh for you today?
It's nice being greeted by people who are glad to see you. And I appreciate that they use real ingredients, like fresh beef and Wisconsin cheese. The frozen custard is so fresh and creamy, it tastes like it was made just for us.
It's our pleasure.
Just spending time with family, that's what mealtime at Culver's is all about.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious!
A new year and a new adventure with the perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. With pure power unleashed and future-forward technology. Because every mile matters and every path leads to new possibilities. Get $5,250 total cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, current Chevy owners and lessees get an additional $1,000 cash allowance when you purchase. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
Need cash? SpeedyCash.com offers cold hard cash on the spot.
I applied today at SpeedyCash.com and already got my cash.
So why wait? Visit SpeedyCash.com and you could have cash today.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Good seats, huh? You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row. Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Good seats, hey, buddy. He missed the tag. He missed the tag. You know, one of the best things about being
one of the most memorable ad campaigns of all time, and Bob Uecker was a key part of it. This Miller Lite ad from the early 1980s ends with Bob Uecker sitting in the last row of the stadium. Many years later, the Brewers paid tribute to the commercial and their legendary broadcaster with this statue of Bob behind home plate in the very last row in the stadium, which are affectionately referred to as the Uecker seats.
Yeah, the Baseball Hall of Fame says Bob Uecker made a career out of humor born from his own failure, but few have tasted the baseball success that Uecker did.
In 2003, the Hall of Fame honored Uecker with the Ford C. Frick Award for Excellence in Broadcasting. His speech that day is legendary.
I think the first thing that he ever bought me was a football. And I was very young, and he didn't know a lot about it. He came from the old country. And, I mean, we tried to pass it and throw it and kick it, and we couldn't do it, and it was very discouraging for him and for me. And we almost quit. And finally, we had a nice enough neighbor came over and put some air in it. And what a difference. I signed a very modest $3,000 bonus with the Braves in Milwaukee, which I'm sure a lot of you know. And my old man didn't have that kind of money to put out. But the Braves took it. I remember Gene Mauch doing things to me at Philadelphia. I'd be sitting there and he'd say, grab a bat and stop this rally. Look down at the third base coach for a sign and have him turn his back on you.
I watched that speech today, just, you know, going down memory lane, just one laugh after another, Charles.
And it's a great memory lane to go down. I also noticed he doesn't even look down. I don't think there's a speech in front of him. Every moment is ad-lib. That's how gifted he was as a speaker.
What a joy. Coming up next, we're going to have more fond memories of Bob Uecker from us.
Because he's Mr. Baseball, and that's a slice of Americana. So wherever the child lives, his legacy was larger than the state of Wisconsin and the Milwaukee Brewers. He was everybody's Mr. Baseball.
At US Cellular, you don't have to choose between a great phone and the right phone plan for you. You can get 4 free phones of your choice and 4 lines for just $90.
That's like us not having to choose between tickets to wrestling or that puppet musical.
Because you get both.
US Cellular, built for us.
If you've been injured in a truck crash, you know what a life-changing experience it can be. What you may not know is that trucking law is extremely complex. We have a powerful team with the knowledge and resources needed to win. Don't wait. Call Gruber Law Offices today. We have a history of top-notch results and over 35 years of winning for injured people. And there's never a fee until we win. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Brad Schimmel, prosecutor, attorney general, rule of law judge. Schimmel put pedophiles behind bars, took on criminal illegals and cartels, protected kids and seniors from abuse.
Law school taught me the rights of the accused, but justice for the abused is denied all too often. I'm Brad Schimmel. On the state Supreme Court, I'll apply the law equally because everyone has the right to feel safe.
Schimmel, for justice.
The Panera You Pick 2 you've always loved now has a price you'll love even more. Starting at $8.98, mix 2 Panera faves to craft the perfect meal just for you. Whether it's a soup and salad or sandwich and mac, the choice is all yours. Panera's You Pick 2, endless combinations now starting at $8.98.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick. Exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get $3,000 purchase allowance on this Encore GX. That's 10% below MSRP.
You've been seriously hurt in a car crash. Call the winning team.
Some of the hardest hits happen during football season, but an impact this severe is harder to bounce back from. Hurt in a car? Call GLR. We're ready to fight for you. Just dial 7s.
Want to test drive US Cellular's nationwide 5G coverage for free?
Here we go.
Hey, I wonder if US Cellular lets me stream in my... Yep, it's working.
Download the US Cellular Trius app today.
Charles, in this business, we are fortunate to have the chance to meet a lot of incredible people, and Bob Uecker was certainly one of them. He was one of a kind, and I just remember opening day, we would be out at the ballpark nice and early, and he would come down, and the minute he came down, he was so nice to everybody. And people were more excited to see Bob Uecker, it seemed, than anyone else.
Yeah, I was like a kid in a candy store. The first time I met him, I was covering one of the games at County Stadium. The broadcast booth was near where you could get a hamburger and a hot dog for the media. I saw him walk in the room, and I'm like, oh my, yep. There's Bob Uecker.
So true. Well, thanks for joining us for this special one-hour edition of TMJ4 News at 6 as we remember Bob Uecker. And as we sign off for now, we'll let Mr. Baseball himself do the honors.
Our next broadcast will come to you from Arizona. That's what's going to happen. And we'll be back with you, and hopefully you'll be back with us. So long, everybody. From American Family Field here in Milwaukee.
save money with these great deals going on now at Menards. Stay warm with Sherpa throw blankets on sale for just $3.99. Liven up your decor with assorted houseplants starting at only $3.99. Plus, 75-count disinfectant wipes are just $1.99. Lloyd's St. Louis style spare ribs only $11.98. These deals won't last long, so save today. Plus, sign up for Menards emails to get more big savings right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
At Inside Edition, we don't just report the news.
There it is.
We go where the news happens.
Beyond the headlines.
Oh,
it's highly contagious.
You can feel the excitement.
They were finally halted.
On the front line of investigations.
Why have you been terrorizing women here?
These are the stories, the miracle, that impact your life. Inside Edition.
Now on TMJ4, weekdays at 3:30.
It's a new year with new beginnings, new adventures, and new vehicles. And I know just the people that can help you. Heiser Automotive Group. For our customers, we created the Safe and Sound program. Every sale includes the exchange program. If you don't love it, exchange it. Convenience services. Use our new mobile service van. We'll come to you. Lifetime road assistance and more. At Heiser, today's your day. See details at heiser.com.
I'm Mackenzie Hamill with TMJ4 News, and I'm your Sheboygan County reporter. News that's important to Sheboygan is important to me. I live here, so if you see news happening, tell me about it. On social or mackenzie.hamill@tmj4.com.
Your stories deserve to be heard, Kenosha County. Message me, Glenda Valdez, on Facebook or at tmj4.com.
More reporters where you live. The news you need when you need it. TMJ4.
In the criminal justice system,